Okay, cool. So let's jump into looking at the problem we had yesterday, which I'll quickly show. Okay. So we have this. So I'm going to publish locally, -s local. Okay. And then I'll actually restart this. So test world. And then I'll do run here. Be localhost 3000. Okay, and instead of Minecraft 2, I actually have it called SpacetimeDB-Minecraft. Okay, so what was the problem that we ran into yesterday? So if we go and delete a bunch of blocks, they don't actually like show up. Let's see, clear. No, I think it was here. So I'm just going to recreate the command. So we did spacetime call, SpacetimeDB-Minecraft, and we're going to do clear terrain. And we'll clear from 0, 0, size of 10. And we'll... what was the last one? The last one... Oh, no, sorry. It was 0, 0, 0. And then the size is 10, right? .404 not found. It wasn't clear terrain. It was chopped terrain. Chopped terrain. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So what this should do is a huge block of the terrain here should just like get removed, but it's not quite working. Okay. So you'll see there's no terrain missing. If I actually disconnect and reconnect, now the terrain is missing. So if I put it on 71, is that going to work now? Why is it working now? This was not working on yesterday's stream. I swear it was not working. People saw that it wasn't working. Disconnect. Reconnect. Okay, is it still working? It's still working. Why was it not working yesterday? That's so strange. I've also stopped asking questions sometimes when it comes to issues like this. Like, okay, so it's working. I think it's possible that if I call chop terrain and I remove some more terrain. That was so strange. Okay. So we've removed some additional terrain, but now if I go back and I try to stack another one on top, let me do like a gap. It's like, it's literally just working now. It's like, it's working. Good. So in that case, the original thing we wanted to solve here was the light calculations not being exactly correct. Oh, and no, so we have to get this working. Let's see. So how can we get this working? So let's look at set block quickly, because that one actually works. We've determined that set block works quickly. Like if we just look at break block quickly, what I want to do is I want to say like a new function here as well, and I want to call this like flush or something. Flush chunk. Okay, so we're just going to call tracker flush. Flush chunk. Okay, so then what we want to do here, so this is inside of chunk tracker, flush chunk. Handle block set. Okay. State tracker set block trackers. Trackers. Okay. So I should be able to go inside of main here. And when we have a terrain update, I think we have to do... Okay, we say set chunk on this. Right? Let's see. So let me verify here. So we have received chunk update, and then we're grabbing S as mutable, unwrap worlds. I feel like actually I want to do like... S as mutable and wrap. I want this so that I don't have to. Flush chunk. Okay, so then we grab the tracker, and then on the tracker, we call flush. And on here, this is set blocks full is true. Set to true when the whole chunk area can be resent instead of all blocks one by one. Okay, let's see where this is actually read from. Okay, so here we are in set blocks. That's not it. Update players. This is sounding about right. Okay, so there's a function called update players. Update the given players by sending them the correct packets to update the player client side. If the chunk is full of set blocks, then the whole area is resent. Else, only individual changes are sent to the player loading the chunk. Once this function has updated all players, all modifications are removed. Okay, that makes sense. So if set blocks is full, let me put a log in here. Sending full chunk. Okay. CX CZ. Starting with the basics here. We know where the code is that we eventually want to get to. So actually starting from there and seeing how we get there is good. Okay, so we have this, and then we're gonna go 30 on that. I feel bad for that squid or whatever it is, octopus that keeps falling into our massive crater here. Sending full chunk. Interesting. It's interesting that we get the message. It says sending full chunk on all of those. Basically the indexes. So actually what I want to do is I want to go for minimum position 0, 0, 0. Set this to 0, 0, 0. Sorry, we don't need half of this crap in here. We just need this. And then the max, so I think, is each one 32? Chunk component. Okay, so chunk component has a chunk. And this chunk has this, okay? And then this gets initialized. Here it is. Chunk 3D size is chunk height times chunk 2D size. Isn't it 16 by 16? It is. Chunk width. Okay. Sure. Chunk width. Okay, so this is defined in chunk.rs. So where were we before? I think we were in chunk and we were in flush. There should be a thing in here called flush. Flush, not blush. Flush. Okay, chunk width. How do I actually reference this thing? Chunk width. Okay, so X and Z are the only things that are affected by chunk width. Chunk height is going to be the thing that affects the Y, so this is going to be chunk height. Okay, we'll have to cast that. Please, I hope this works. Actually, I want to keep that as 20, and I think I want to move this to 10. Okay, all right, that super did not work. Okay, so that was okay, what happened? Got a connection reset. So either the application is not called, whatever. Okay, what happened? Okay, so chunk RS 351.49. So the range 32,770 is out of the range for slice length 32,768. So this is on chunk RS 351. What have we done? 351. Okay, where is this coming from? Index is coming from here. X and Z are coming from here. Where are to and from coming from? So we have to and from here. So this is size. How did size get calculated? Size is from here. Okay, where did this come from? Likely. New chunk data packet. Size. Okay, size probably came from where? Here? Aha. Aha. Okay. This looks like something we touched. We touched this. Okay. This seems to be our doing. We did this. So I think this max here, I'm really starting to think that this should be -1. It is. Okay, so we're going to do this. -1. -1. -1. Please just work. So we should see this massive block just like disappear. This like massive, there we go, baby. Okay. That took way too long to just get that little tiny thing working. Holy smokes. Okay. I'm so happy that's working though. That's so cool. I just want to see it again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Beautiful. So really what I wanted to do with this from the beginning is I'll disconnect here and I'll generate a new world. Oops, I didn't actually need to kill that. I wanted to kill this. Okay, chunk is being sent. So I think I'll probably keep those. I'll keep those messages for now. We will redeploy SpacetimeDB thing. Spacetime publish, SpacetimeDB-Minecraft, C-ls. Okay, and then we'll rerun the server. Okay, so we've got a brand new server. Now what I want to do is I want to use this chop function, but I actually want to chop from the top. So I'm going to bring this up from... We'll do 0, 0, not 0, 0, 0, 60 maybe, 20, let's do 0, but then size, we can like bring this up to maybe like 40. Let's give that a try. Should see like a pretty sizable bit disappear. Once this finishes. I guess it's a lot of blocks. It's like taking like a 40 by 40 square and it's destroying all blocks in that. How's it going, Nicolao? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I'm worried how hairy you will be when it's all done. Okay. So we've gotten a little unlucky. I needed a cave in here is what I needed. Although this did work. Actually, that's fine. I was worried that the light was going to be messed up. We did get this cave here. What I was expecting is like, because we don't recalculate the light in SpacetimeDB, I was actually expecting all this to just be like dark in here, but it's not. But I'm wondering if that's because the Minecraft server is still doing the light calculation, and I'd like to prevent it from doing that actually. Anywhere from MC173 server. So here, and this is just from a command. So actually this is fine. So that is actually okay. Let me actually see. If I do log... Oh, and I probably can't log in here because the crate, yeah, is not imported. Can I do print line? Yeah. So print line, and then let's do set block. Block set. Let's see if we get that. I just want to see if SpacetimeDB should be entirely in charge of the lighting. Like, it shouldn't be getting the lighting like fixed up from the Minecraft server proxy thing. So I just want to make sure that that's not happening. Okay, this is like a command thing. This should not happen unless... And actually, what I could do to like really figure out what's going on here is I think I can do this, and then this will tell me where we're doing this. Okay, so we have, oh yeah, world 435. That makes sense. Can we do a stack trace though? Rust backtrace 1. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. World tick use raw stack. Wait, what? World tick. Okay, MC173 world use. Okay, so world tick inside of MC173. MC173 block set. So this stack goes down, right? One block set and then see, use raw static. World tick. So if I go inside of tick here, function tick. I wonder if it's because of tick blocks. So that's the other thing we have to add into SpacetimeDB is ticking the blocks. So like blocks that need to be able to like move, like for example, sand blocks. So there are certain blocks that like can't be supported and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different things. There's stuff like cactuses. Like cactuses need to be supported by a specific block. I think it's sand. So if like you have a cactus that is not on sand, it needs to break. Then you have falling blocks like sand and gravel. Probably another one I'm thinking of. Then I think there's water would count as a ticking block. And then there's like weird things. There's like dispensers and there's like music blocks and stuff like that. So there's some details here. Right now, although maybe I'll turn off block ticking for now. So this would be to do move this to SpacetimeDB. Turn this off. Oh, block entities is going to be... Yeah. So like what sort of things goes into block entities? Let's see. Tech block unchecked. Okay, so we've commented this out. So this should actually, I'm thinking that if we comment this out, that crash will go away. So if I just comment that out, this will no longer tick all these. Oh, interesting. So you can see what things are no longer being used. These methods are no longer used. Tick buttons, tick repeater, tick redstone, tick dispenser, cactus or sugar cane. So the sugar canes as well need to be supported. Tick wheat, tick fire. Okay, so all of these things are things that are affected by tick block. Very interesting. Okay, let's actually go into the world now. Actually, if I go and remove a block, it'll crash. Yep, okay. So where was that? So we have world 435. I feel like I should just take this function out because like anytime this function is called, it's gonna bust the state. The state's gonna get messed up if you call this function. Yeah. This is just gonna get busted if you call this. So let's run around and fix all these. So we have no method break block and tick.rs, tick.rs. Break block, okay. Break only for water. Tick fluid moving. I might actually want to comment this out for now. Tick fluid moving. Okay, so fluid moving needs to go to SpacetimeDB, so I'm just going to do a comment. So to do move this to SpacetimeDB DB. I should really have a list of things. So tick fluid moving, and I guess I have a Notion doc. Here we go. Okay, so tick block unchecked. So this we also just have to remove this whole function as well. Tick block. So this will be to do. Move this to SpacetimeDB. Okay, so again, we have notify block unchecked. Okay, so interesting. Opposite of flowers. So flowers need sunlight. If they don't have enough sunlight, then they get broken. Mushrooms, if they have too much light, then they break. That's quite interesting. Okay, then the question is, why am I doing this? Why am I like commenting all this code out? The reason why is because we've moved a lot of this logic into SpacetimeDB, and everywhere where the Minecraft server is still touching like the blocks, like everywhere where it's trying to update blocks is just causing like state inconsistencies. So that's why I'm commenting all these out, is so that we no longer have all these state consistency issues. We might have a problem with commenting out this function, but I'm going to come back and fix it later. But I'm going to comment it out for now. Oh boy, did that create a ton of problems. Okay. Okay, tick rs. Is on ground. Tick falling block. So this will be blocks like sand. Okay, so to do move to SpacetimeDB. This will be ticks for falling blocks like sand and gravel. Okay. Tick attack. World explode. Okay, this must be the creeper logic. Yep, creeper explode. Has to be. I'm not going to complain about removing this feature. It'll be kind of funny, actually. Will creepers just not explode? Will they be friendly to me? We'll see. We'll see very soon. We've removed their brain, so they can no longer explode. And actually, maybe what I'll do, maybe I don't want to remove this entirely. Just to keep as much functionality in there as possible. What I think I'll actually do is I'll just remove that is what I'll do. I'm trying not to just completely like remove things. I want to keep only the things I don't want touched. I'm taking out. Tick blocks. This is going to cause a problem, certainly. Random ticking, lightning strikes, random snowing, random ticks pending. So this entire thing I think gets removed, and I think we had already looked at removing this function. So that's fine. Wow, I cannot believe that compiles. Holy smokes. We just removed so much code. I cannot believe it compiles. Okay. I mean, there's a gazillion warnings. There's a bajillion warnings, but it still compiles. Let's see if I remove my world now. So test world, workup run. Does it still function? And actually, this is encouraging because I didn't clear my SpacetimeDB module, and you'll notice that all of our changes are still here. I should not be able to break blocks though. Like if I disconnect and I reconnect, that block should not be gone. Okay, it's not. That was just a client-side thing. Like if I go down here and I break one of these gravel blocks, and you'll notice also when I broke the block, it didn't drop anything. So it's the client doing, oh, and look at it. It was, look at it. The client must have realized that it didn't get the event that it was looking for. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Holy smokes. All right. So now all we have to do is add this functionality to SpacetimeDB, and we're solid. This is cool. We have like a read-only world right now because the SpacetimeDB just doesn't support doing this thing yet, but we're going to add it. And you'll notice the gravel didn't fall. So that's very cool. Very, very cool. But if I go and I, like, let's say that I want to, like, add some blocks in here. So if I do set block here, so Where are we in the world? Now that we've fixed so many things. So I'll try to get myself at like some nice round numbers here. So we have like 10, 10, 0, 61. 10, 0, 61 is like right about there. So if I do spacetime call, SpacetimeDB -Minecraft, set block, what was it? It was 10. We'll do 62, 0. Add a piece of glass. Okay. Cool. And then let's do one more. We'll move it over to 11. Cool. And then we'll move like out one here. That. Cool. Okay, so this is like shockingly working like really well. And actually, I can't destroy this. If I destroy it, it'll pop back. So what have we done since you guys are coming in now? So what we've done is there was still all of the functionality in the Minecraft server for like modifying the terrain and being able to place blocks, and like sand would still fall, but all of that's like not supported in SpacetimeDB yet. Like we have to add that support in. All I did is I removed it from the Minecraft server so that the Minecraft server, which is eventually just going to be the proxy now no longer has control of the terrain. So you'll notice that I can break this stuff and it's going to pop back into existence, because the only thing that has control of the terrain right now is SpacetimeDB, and SpacetimeDB is saying you cannot modify this terrain basically. Because the Minecraft proxy cannot modify this terrain. Only SpacetimeDB can, which is cool. My main point was that if we start removing just like a whole bunch of features, then it's like not going to be as fun to like test and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to keep the features in, even if they're not like SpacetimeDB authoritative. So what we're going to work on next is going to be actually, well, the next thing I wanted to work on, which I thought was going to be cool, is actually tracking the player's position in SpacetimeDB and then actually generating terrain as you approach a chunk boundary. So like right now, as I approach this chunk boundary down here, the terrain will not automatically just generate. So that's, I think, probably the thing I want to work on next is going to be tracking the player's position. So I'll just show you, if I walk to this boundary here, nothing will happen. That should be an easy one. I agree. It should be an easy one. I think we can probably tackle that today. So yeah, you'll notice no chunk being generated. So how does player move work right now? Let's look at the code. There's something called network tick. Tick. Or tick network. Function tick network. Network? I know where it is. So if I go to main RS and I go to tick, I know I'm not crazy. I know this function exists. If I go to tick net. Okay. So tick net. Handle packet. Okay, client's playing. If they're playing, player handle packet. Okay, so in packets, flying chat position. So position packet, handle position. How does position work? Handle position look inner. So if entity is equal to world.getEntity, oh no, this requires updating all the entities so that all the entities will be tracked, because the player is just an entity. This may not be a simple migration. We may have to pull in all of the entity code basically to get this kind of working in the way that I wanted to get this working. I guess maybe we could like do players specifically. Their positions are tracked in SpacetimeDB, but then no other positions, although that's going to create like a weird... It's going to be weird, I feel like, if we do this. So I feel like maybe we can't. It's not wise, I guess, to migrate player position quite yet. We may just have to like jankily generate chunks by hand for now if we need more chunks to test. So I guess what we could probably do instead, just because I want to consider this a little bit more, like I don't want to pull in the entire entity system into SpacetimeDB, because that's like We're going to have to do repeating reducers for moving the entities, and then we're going to have to... we would have to do a lot of things. But the thing I think we can probably handle in SpacetimeDB now is actually breaking blocks. So let's look at the break block code. So break block. What does this look like? So we have world get entity mutable, entity ID. So this is get the entity of the player. Get the position of the block break, I believe. So then we use some trace log. We see if we're in water or on the ground, because I believe if you're in water, you break blocks more slowly. On ground, not sure why that matters. Maybe you break blocks more quickly if you're on the ground. So then we see the stack is going to be the item in the hand slot. So that's probably going to determine our block break speed because of the tool in our hand. This packet status is not something that I totally know what's happening. I think it's like a state machine. So if you're in 0, so special case to extinguish fire, you can extinguish fire immediately. Ignore any interaction. Okay. So let me actually copy this into SpacetimeDB. Okay, so then let's jump into just the module code quickly. I'm just going to dump this code in here. We'll probably get more organized later. This module code is not super organized, but that's fine for now. Okay, up to this point, we've made all the modifications in the correct places. I'm actually going to commit here. So commented out any code in MC173 that modifies func data. Pushing to master. Okay, what next? Okay, so breaking blocks, yes. Breaking blocks in SpacetimeDB. Let me look at all the parameters quickly. So if I go to, I want to do handle break block again and just look at the parameters. So we've got the world and the packet. Okay. So function handle break block. What's actually in here? This should still be commented out. I don't know why it's not. And actually I may have to recommit now. Do I have to recommit? Shoots. Fix compilation issue. Sorry, if you pulled to test this out, you may have to pull again because I don't think it actually built. Okay, so if we look at what we need from the player in order to initiate this break block, you'll see that we need a reference to the world, and then we need this break block packet. So let's see what's in there. So if I look for break block packet, okay, what is this? So this contains an X, Y, Z, face, and a status. So what I actually want to do, I think, something that would be super easy is all these types are supported in SpacetimeDB. Maybe what I'll do is not really a hack, but I'll go to my module. We'll say function handle break block. Okay. Get rid of this. And this is just going to take, we already have a reference to like the world thing that we need. All we need is this handle break block packet. Break block packet. It's kind of a tongue twister. Packet. Oh, maybe. Where is this proto? Interesting. This is in MC173 server, so we have to actually create a type for this, like this. SpacetimeDB, spacetime. Let's see. This will be spacetime type. Break block packet. Okay. That the spacetime type thing, what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to use this type in like reducer calls, and we could actually put this into a table if we want, but without this we can't. So this will now allow us to use break block packet for a reducer argument, or we could put it into a table if we want. Okay, so then what does this actually do? We want to do handle break block. Look at this guy. Okay, so where is this? This is certainly an MC173 server. Okay, so now I may actually copy this, to be honest. I may copy this. So I may copy this and put it in here. Oh, I just did that wrong. Let's see. Okay, so we have the packet now. Packet.direction. Break block packet. Packet.direction. Why does my packet not have a direction? Oh, I pasted the wrong function. I pasted place block instead of break block. That's why it doesn't have the thing. Okay, now I've actually pasted the correct function. World entity get mutable, so we can't do this yet. So that I think has to go away for now. Get rid of tracing. Okay, is the entity in the water? Are they on the ground? What's the stack in their hand? We don't have access to any of that information right now, unfortunately. So special case to extinguish fire. World is block. We don't necessarily have a world. We have a chunk though. We could say chunk filter. SpacetimeDB chunk filter by X. This would be need that thing for calculating chunk position. Where is that? It's in here somewhere. This one. Calculate chunk position from position. So we have cxcz, calculate chunk position. Then we can do let chunk is equal to SpacetimeDB chunk. Filter by x, cx, find a cz. Where z is equal to cz dot unwrap. So this will grab the chunk, impl SpacetimeDB chunk. We didn't need to do this. The set block notify thing is not, this doesn't matter. I'm going to comment it out for now. We didn't have to do any of that. That's my bad. Okay, so we ignore any interaction result for the left click. Block break to avoid opening an inventory when breaking a container. Interacts before get block. Relevant for redstone lit. I don't think we need that right now. And actually, I might comment this out just because I don't think we need it. Okay, so start breaking a block. Ignore if the position is invalid. Okay, so let some world get block. Okay, so we do need this. Yeah, so we have is block, and then actually what I want to do here, we do need get block. But this is going to do this. So self.chunk dot self.chunk. We already have the chunk. We don't need to calculate that. Get block position. Yeah, get block position. Okay, so I have world get block, chunk get block. This does make a lot of sense actually having these functions on the world though, because like if you think about it, like if you're modifying a bunch of blocks, those blocks may not all be within the same chunk. So like being able to say world modify these blocks is more convenient from a programming perspective. So we're just going to have to keep that in mind as we kind of move forward, that we don't have a world in SpacetimeDB right now. We could... My concern with it is that I want to keep each chunk in a separate like database entry, so that it's more ECS-like. Because right now, world in Minecraft has a vec of chunks. Actually, it's a hash map. It's a hash map from chunk X, chunk Z to a chunk. And the reason I didn't want to just port that over is because then... And I guess this is a little cheat because I know how it works in SpacetimeDB is like literally every time you modify one of those chunks, you're going to rewrite, like every time you would like update a block within a chunk, you would rewrite the entire world, which like you could do, but it would be really not great for performance. So then I've broken this out into, okay, well, each chunk can be its own row. So that's fine. Because the chunks are actually not too incredibly big. Let's do the math again. It was 120, or sorry, it's 16 by 16 by 128. 32 kilobytes, so not too big. I even considered going all the way down to having individual blocks in a table, but that's like way too fine-grained. So this is fine for now. Chunk. Break block. Okay, we might have to call this break block function here. So this is world break block. Let's look at okay, self breaking block. This was defined on the player. Okay, so breaking block is going to have to be a table. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this breaking block and I'm actually going to turn this into a type. So what I'll actually do is this will be SpacetimeDB, or I guess derive SpacetimeDB type. And then what I'll do, just to keep this more compatible, is I'm going to do struct SpacetimeDB breaking block. This will have an entity ID, which will be an I32. That's the entity that's breaking the block, and then this will be breaking block is breaking block. And this will be our actual table. So SpacetimeDB table. So then what we'll do here is we'll say SpacetimeDB breaking block insert. And we're going to insert this guy. Oh, we need to track time. We need to track time. So what we should do is we should port all of the time logic to SpacetimeDB, which isn't hard. It's not hard. It's gonna be a singleton. So this is like ID. I32 should be unique. Time. It's probably a U32. Let me see what it is in Minecraft. So if I go to world, RS, world should have a time. It's a U64. U64. Okay. Then we definitely want like a tick function, so pub function tick. And I'll have public function tick time. And all this is going to do is this will just do SpacetimeDB time. Filter by ID. 0. Unwrap. Okay, let time. Current time is equal to this. Okay. Then what we'll do is current time dot time plus equals 1. then we'll just write this back. SpacetimeDB time, update by ID 0, current time. Schedule duration from milliseconds. It's going to be 50 milliseconds. Instead of circle decay, we're just going to call tick. And we want to call tick time in here, I think probably as the last thing. So do stuff, ... lastly, tick time. Expected SpacetimeDB breaking block, found breaking block. Okay, right, because we need to do insert new SpacetimeDB breaking block. The ID of this is going, or the entity ID for this is going to be entity ID. I think it's packet. Maybe? I guess we have to pass this in. So entity ID, which I think is just an I32, and then the break block packet. So this is entity ID, and then breaking block is this. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, self-breaking block take. So we should grab right here. I'm going to say let's breaking block is equal to SpacetimeDB breaking block filter by entity ID, and then the entity ID that we passed in. So stack ID 0, state ID. This is breaking block ID. I'm going to rename this to state. Breaking block.state.id. In water, false. On ground, false. Min time is equal to state start time. So that's breaking block. Dot state start time, break duration. Then we have world get time. We can just grab the time up here. I'm going to say let time is equal to time. World, let's see, SpacetimeDB time. Filter by ID. 0, unwrap, time. Okay, so this is just going to be time. Then we're going to call world break block position. Otherwise, log warn. Set block. Yeah, so what I want to do here is I want to do two things. I want to go and I'm going to call sets block. We have a function for this. And we want to set it on breaking position X, breaking position Y, breaking position Z. And we're going to set it to be error. It's just 0. With 0 metadata. The basically, like, when it drops loot, it like spawns that entity that starts floating. We don't have entity support in SpacetimeDB modules, so it's not going to work. Okay, no method name unwrapped found for bool on 277. Okay. Last one, I think. So we have expected U8. U8 found option for mismatched types on 515. Okay, SpacetimeDB chunk is block. Okay, bool. So if let's sum position ID unused self dot chunk get block. What does this return? This returns U8 U8. Why does this not work? Expected U8 U8 found option. Oh, so there's this option. What? Chunk. Self chunk get block returns the tuple. Some. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, else can never happen. Thank you, Togglebit. Let's see. So if I jump in here, okay, we have the world that we had before, and it was read-only. We were not able to. Oh, you know what? It's still gonna be read-only. because we don't actually call the function. So when we break something, it's going to pop back. Okay, so what do we have to do to fix that? What we have to do is we have to go in here. Okay, so we have to uncomment this now. And I'm going to write a function here instead of this function. So this is a new function. And what is this function? This function, we have to regenerate our bindings. So spacetime generate out dir creates autogen source autogen language rust. Okay, and then we're actually going to call reducer here. Okay, handle break block. Okay, this compiles now. World is no longer used, so this goes away. Let's try it. Incoherent break time. So I wonder which one it was. It's one of these. It was one of yes. Expected 294 but got 245. Expected 294 but got. Okay, interesting. So if time is greater than or equal to the minimum time. Set block. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is so interesting. Because we're tracking time in SpacetimeDB and we're tracking it in Minecraft, those time values are out of sync. That's so interesting. Okay. We have to move all of the time calculations into SpacetimeDB. But let me, just for now, that's such an interesting problem. Okay, but for now, let me just uncomment, or I'm going to just comment this out. Okay, so the first thing we'll do on the next stream is we're gonna move time into space-time, which is cool. Space-time will be in control of all time. Okay, so let's see if it's happy now. It should not come back. It should not come back. Beautiful. Okay, we can break blocks now. That's really cool. Okay. Excellent. This is really cool. So now we can edit the world. Okay, and it's not going to pop back to the previous state. So these are legitimate updates happening in SpacetimeDB. All the errors are expected. They legitimately are, though. I should be using a different logging thing. So yeah, look at this. Actually, so if I go over here, right? So if I go here, I put this guy on the left and I put this guy on the right. Okay, back to game. Look at this is the SpacetimeDB logs on the left. So we're setting these blocks and they're actually being set. And it's cool because it's printing the chunk the block position as well. That's cool. Okay, awesome.